Yeah, basically where we shooting at now is on Crenshaw, right around the corner from 60th Street. We basically in the hood, one of the blocks, you know what I mean, we grew up on around here. As far as positioning in the real world, I didn't have a high school diploma. I never really went to trade school, nothing like that. So other than being in the streets and getting money off these corners around here, you know what I'm saying, we ain't really have no other viable options. We can go get a little chump change minimum wage job, but ain't nobody want that. You feel me? We got egos too. We feel like we them, you know, want to be the star of the show too. So I think the record is more about like what rap music did for me in my life and how it affected, you know what I mean, my situation financially, the choices I can make now and what I got action at being involved in. You know, I feel like when I do come back, I bring opportunity. I try to. Right. I'm not balling out of control. I'm not filthy rich, you know what I'm saying? But I do try to bring opportunity back, not just because it's cliche of a rapper to do, just because I got loved ones over here that got potential to do other things besides being in the street. Right. So, you know, on that note, it feel good to come back around and just, you know, mingle with my loved ones and my homeboys and let them know that we doing something different, positive. Yeah, basically where we shooting at now is on Crenshaw.
Man, that's a lot. Once again, I love you, bro. I want to start that video off with that. But you said a lot right there. We do all got egos in a way, right? Now, I'm not gonna say everybody got an ego. I know I for damn sure got an ego. I don't like being told what to do. I be so real. I don't like 9-to-5 jobs. I don't like minimum wage jobs. I don't like jobs, period. I don't like authority. Keep it a so $1.50. No, I feel like I'm more than somebody telling me what to do all day. So I get exactly what he's saying, but then that puts a pressure on you too, because then if you're delusional about it, you're gonna end up down bad. You know, you don't want no authority, but then you can't look at reality and make moves to justify that type of decision, and you're gonna end up kind of down bad, which a lot of people do, you know, especially out here. The ego in Los Angeles, at least, the ego is very high. The ego is through the roof. Most dudes, especially coming from this environment, don't want to go down that route, but then most of them don't also adapt a skill set and get some type of business, you know, find some type of passion, find some type of purpose. So then all that leaves is a whole group of niggas who have no purpose, no drive, have no ambition, have no desire to elevate and evolve past their current state, and with no rules, no authority, no anything. It's literally a big ass mess. That's why they're reckless like they are, bro. Like, yes, you know, survival mode, putting food on the table and all the other type of stuff is the key things that add to this environment. But the lack of structure and purpose is what really like locks in that atmosphere, right? Because you even gotta look at black people, right? I say black and Hispanic, right? Because for some reason, you know, and I could be biased, right? And if I am, I'm sorry. You know, y'all could check me on that if I am. But blacks and Hispanics, we know we were kings, bro. We know we were queens. So naturally, we don't want to be working for nobody. That's why you see these people, these quote unquote immigrants, come over here. They don't immediately go try getting no job. They start hustling. They know what's up. They don't need nobody to tell them how to go make $1. They know how to go do that. They didn't need nobody above them telling them that. But since they need to make money, because that's the country that they're in, they do what they gotta do. And just like with, you know, melanated people, we knew we were kings. We knew we were queens. So we don't want to sit nowhere and bag your shit up for 8 hours. Wait, our ancestors is disrupted. Our ancestors are pissed off. We weren't doing this, right? And even when it comes to that whole king and queen aspect and all that other type of shit, right? We talking about things that were thousands, millions of years ago, right? We've seen, you know, pyramids and, you know, those little statues and all that other type of stuff. But the kings and queens weren't these, like niggas weren't just sitting in like gold tombs and shit like that. Like that is a pigmentation of the ego. because you're using things around you to, you're using something outside of you to justify what's inside of you. That was an egotistical move. And I'm not sure where that image got put in front of us or got put in the world, whatever the case may be, but something tells me that's not true, right? We had those things, we had those monuments, we had that type of stuff, but you saw the kings and queens with the people. They weren't up in the top of the fucking castle, separated from everything, calling shots and driving through the city and on their princess. And like, no, that wasn't what they were doing. That king was down there fishing with the rest of the people of his tribe, getting his hands dirty, fishing, you know, doing the things that everybody else was doing. And the only reason why we view those people as the king and the queen is because they probably held a certain level of wisdom or understanding about the environment, the time, our tribe, whatever the case may be. And it was a respect thing more than a superiority thing, right? So just right, bingo, just understanding that we don't like going to work. We know this shit ain't right? It don't matter how deep you try to ingrain the Western European way of thinking into us. Our ancestors aren't stupid, and our ancestors are a lot more potent than what's happening outside of us. You will always be depressed when you're doing something that your lineage worked for you not to do, right? There was a shift. There was a point where we were free, then we enslaved ourselves, then we allowed other people to enslave us, and then we went back to enslaving ourselves. Now it's time for us to unenslave ourselves, right? They took the pressure off us a little bit. We're enslaving our own damn selves at this point, right? And it's by what? Doing things that we know aren't beneficial for us. Not living through purpose. You know, living through greed, envy, all these other type of things. There needs to be like a certain level of accountability that comes in with our people to be like, you know what? We could do a little bit better. And that ties back into what he was saying at the ending of that video, right? When he was like, that's why he comes back and, you know, tries to give opportunity and insight to the people in the community because, bro, there's so much potential there. There's so much potential everywhere. But there's no direction. There's no leadership. We have no true essence of what leaders look like in our community. So, bro, this shit, it's just a big mess, yo. You know, because it's like I understand both sides. You know, we get mad at the drug dealer and all of this, and you know, the hustlers and all this other type of stuff look like they're not benefiting society. They're lazy and all this other type of stuff. Bro, they just want what's entitled to them just like everybody else, bro. You know, going to, and you know it's crazy too, and it's the money. Going to work ain't the problem. Going to work for $8 for $15 an hour isn't the problem. The problem is when that $15 doesn't cover even a percentage of what it costs for me to live at the basic necessities like eat, shelter, my basic things, the things that we just went out on our own and built and hunt and did by ourselves, simple shit like fruit. When that money isn't enough to suffice for the basic things, and we have to overexert, we have to give more life for basic needs, that's going to break us down. That's going to naturally cause some type of problem. And when you, especially with these black communities, bro, especially drug dealers too, if you give somebody the opportunity to make money without having to listen to somebody above them telling them to do something that they really don't want to do, 95% of those people is going to choose the route that makes them money, and they don't have to listen to nobody. You can neglect, you can say you won't, you can say that's not how you think, you can say whatever you want to, but like I said, 95% of the people presented that type of opportunity, they are going to take it as long as it doesn't jeopardize the basic foundations, freedom and life. Most people are going to take that shit because it's not in our spirit, whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, to have to over dedicate yourself and still not have basic necessities. You realize if you were out in the wild, or like back in the day, if you were actually over dedicating yourself to the extent that some of these jobs are making us do, we would have a bountiful, like we would have like a surplus of resources. Imagine if every single day, every day for 8 hours a day, you did nothing but go get water. It would get to a point where your family would tell you, you don't need to go get more water. Look at how much water we fucking have. You can sit here and drink the water with us, right? And then when we need more water, you can go get more water. That's not how we view, or that's not how we operate today. We will go every day and bring back more water every day, and then get home the next day and there will still be no water. What? That's why we're irritated. So yeah, I mean, the ego thing, I agree with it, but I feel like everybody has an ego and it's for a reason, and the ego is usually not wrong. Yeah, y'all gotta remember the ego is there to protect you. So something in what your ego is telling you is true. Something within it is true because it's meant to protect you. It's trying to help you. So you gotta figure out what that's trying to tell me. If my ego is telling me, F that, I don't want to go do that, it's probably for a reason. You probably know something else that you could be doing, and you just don't. You just aren't tapping into it. You're neglecting it. Ego once again, but you know, I feel like it's a learning curve, and that's why they always say the most entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff like that are usually people who didn't grow up with it because their circumstance made them have to do that. If you grow up in an environment with limited opportunities, limited resources, but you need these resources in order to live, but nobody's giving you the opportunity to do it, you're going to create your own opportunity. You're gonna start selling dope. You're gonna be a rapper. You're gonna start a business. You're going to, whatever you do, bro, you're going to do it. But hey, you know, I guess this is something I feel like you low-key have to be in these environments to know what I'm talking about. And when I say that these dudes aren't stupid.